back. People think I'm funny cause I always make them laugh. I ain't even being funny, I be really spitting facts. I'm about balance and I got talents. Every challenge I overcome. Low-key is savage, never be average. Give me a task and I'll get it done. Minding my business whenever I come in. I'm handling business while I'm having fun. I ain't worried about winning, but that would be dumb cause there's no competition. I already won, huh? Yeah.
Peace, 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 family. How you all doing? I hope all is well with you. My name is Keisha. I'm the owner of Astrologiks, and I am your astrology coach. Today, I'm going to be doing the weekly astrology for September 1st to the 7th, starting with Monday. Moon in Sagittarius. And so if you listen to my last week's video, Moon in Sagittarius is fairly fun and adventurous, outgoing. And so hopefully you enjoyed your weekend and that energy and got out and did some things. Because I'm not going to say this week is a bad week. There's no such thing. It's all on how you use the energy, but it's definitely going to be a week. Saturn retrogrades back into Pisces until mid-February of 2026. And so we are really, really, really working on closing out chapters in our life. And we can see this being played out in the government and the world stage as well, where you're really seeing people go through some serious changes or having some pretty tumultuous experiences due to Saturn saying, hey, I just want to make sure that for this eclipse season, you're really closing out cycles. You're really closing chapters, learning lessons, evolving, and working on being the better version of yourself. And we've really been going through this, if I'm being super honest, at least for Saturn, anyway, specifically since 2023. And so Saturn is coming in to make sure that we are building something on a very strong foundation when it comes to Pisces themes, that we have discipline, boundaries, and we're no longer settling for less or working outside of our values and what we truly want. And that's a lot. It's going to be a lot. People could be having some serious dreams here for sure. A lot of synchronicities, a lot of opportunities to close chapters where old relationships, friendships, family connections are coming back, saying that they've had some kind of revelation or that they're going through something that they wish, that has given them the opportunity to say to you, if you've had a problem in any of these topics, to say, I'm really sorry for how I treated you, what I did, what I accused you of, what I put you through, that I tried to ruin your reputation, your public image, kind of disdain your character and maybe didn't give you the time of the day, wasn't in the right place at that time. I mean, you name it. People are going to be really feeling the pressure to make amends and deal with things that they haven't, so that you can get closure and actually really close an area of life that has probably been weighing on you for quite some time now. And maybe it's because you didn't have clarity, you didn't have faith, you lacked confidence or direction. Maybe you didn't know who you were. You were still learning, and there were some things that you had to go through to get to this point of clarity. And now that you have it, people are reaching out to express those things in a way to apologize, ask for forgiveness, um, and finally close out that chapter. This could also be, unfortunately, and I hate to say it, and I really hope nobody's experiencing this, people passing away, you know, if you're not ending relationships and letting go of relationships or friendships or um, things in the workplace, or even how you show up on the world stage, your character and what position you're in. It could be um, now I'm a mom, now I'm a dad, or I'm having another child, or I'm changing my job, or I'm going to school, or I got married, or I'm moving. I mean, the amount of change, it really depends on what area of life this is playing out for you and things of that nature. It could be a mental health breakdown or a health crisis, or you now have to take care of a parent. Um, it could be that you're changing your diet and you are changing your appearance and your style. It could be that you win a lump sum of money or you lost a lump sum of money. Um, hmm, I'm trying to think of all the houses and the different scenarios that could be playing out here, but um, or you're traveling now, or you're living outside of the country, or um, these things are happening to a family member, or maybe your in-laws family members. Um, yeah. So again, this is going to be different for everybody on how these things are going to be playing out. But again, there are so many different ways that this can be playing out, and it's like it's changing your worldview in some way and how you show up to others, and getting closure and closing chapters that are allowing you to, that's allowing room for you to move on and level up in some way, shape, or form. Um, this could also mean, unfortunately, that we feel a lot more sluggish, tired, and tied down in some way, shape, or form, especially if this is like a pregnant person. Pisces can be the life of the person while pregnant, or life of the child while pregnant, while in the belly. Um, but it could also mean, isolation, taking time to yourself, being private, things that go on behind the scenes or in your bedroom, taking baths more, doing more self-care, um, healing, licking your wounds, doing spiritual practices, giving back to your elders, showing gratitude to your spirit guides and the universe for the lessons, good and bad. You're learning faith, how to have faith, knowing when to flow with the energy. Is this time to sit down and relax? Maybe you're doing the planning and research and necessary things in the background, and nobody really knows what you're doing or what you're going through. Or you could be going through some kind of trauma or trigger trauma in some way, shape, or form that you're healing from in the background, just resting, relaxing, analyzing and assessing your thoughts, journaling. You could be taking a class or a course, and you're doing a lot of this behind the scenes and nobody really sees you doing homework, reading the books, again, doing the research projects, and um, doing the deep dive into your healing process or whatever it is you're learning. You could be doing Reiki, going to a retreat, um, some kind of spiritual healing modality, getting astrology, doing tarot, learning how to do these things so that you can become an influencer or start your own business. I mean, again, it's going to be different for so many people. Um, Yeah, I can talk about this stuff all day. I promise you, all day. The bottom line is that there is a lot going on. There's a lot of releasing and letting go going on, and it could be very draining. Um, on the other hand, it could be very inspiring. And again, it's helping you spiritually and some grow in some way, even emotionally, right? Pisces is about emotions, your intuition. Your intuition can be on freaking fire right now. You might be feeling like you're having psychic moments where you might dream something and then it happens in real life, or you might see something, sign, symbols, synchronicities, and then it somehow, some way translate into something material, practical, that you can use in some way, shape, or form. Messages that allow you to see where you're meant to go next. And these could be things intuitively that you know, but now it's showing you in real time, like you're on the right path. You're doing the right thing, you're going the right way. This could be very creative, especially musically. If you have some kind of a talent. I do see, I'm a huge hip hop fan, so people that have been following me for a really long time, you already know. And I'm seeing a lot of old rappers come back with new music. Love it. Love this energy. Trying to like keep hip hop alive in the right light, not this kind of broken down, um, kind of music that they got out, which is considered to be rap, not hip hop. There's a difference. I'm really, really loving that trend right now. I hope they keep that going. Um, but this could also be really, really good R&B. And whatever your choice of music is, poetry, words of affirmation, writing a book, doing some public speaking or radio or video audio, YouTubing, podcasting, blogging, things of that nature. These all could be things that are like super, super highlighted for you if you have any talents in those particular fields. Um, Again, at the same time, you could be changing the way you operate on social media and you're doing more community events, getting out in the public and flyers and advertising for yourself in that way. Or again, you're just getting out more, you're traveling more, you're taking short trips. As a way to heal or get through or get by things that might be going on, or just dealing with the emotions of the changes that are being required of you right now. Some of them might be out of your hand, which makes it a little harder when the universe humbles you. It's different, you know. You might not be prepared. It could be a sudden change that kind of throws you off, like, damn, I didn't see that coming. Um, but intuitively you knew you needed to do it type thing. And the universe is just giving you a hand, like I said, now, not when you get ready, like right now. Get on the good foot. We need you to make these changes. I got better plans for you. Um, and so, in that way, it could be a little unsettling, but there are people who are very aware, who are on it. They're following their astrology, or they're just following their daily routine, their plans that they've set up for themselves. They're checking in, they're doing the work, they're out there making moves, saving money on their budget. I mean, again, this could be happening in so many different areas of life for people. It's like, they're aware of the changes that they want to see in their life and they're making those changes. And I think there are going to be blessings on top of blessings on top of blessings for those people. Saturn is on it. Saturn loves this. When you're disciplined, you know what you want, you show up, you're attentive, you got the badass suit on, whatever that suit is for the required work that you're doing. Or again, maybe you're just evolving as a person and you're becoming more aware of like, damn, I'm getting older. Saturn is the elderly, it's maturity, it's being responsible, it's showing up, it's being reliable. It's a teacher, it's somebody who's passing down information and knowledge from one generation to the next. So having ceremonies about, initiations and things of that nature. Um, it's just a time in your life when you are realizing, damn, I'm growing up, I'm getting older, and this is not the type of person that I want to be in this new role. I want to do this, this, and that. And so these things are changing, or you're working on changing them within yourself. And that's the initiation process. Um, yeah. And so the moon will trine Mercury and Leo. This definitely is going to help us better communicate and talk about healing. Um, Moon and Sag is again emotional awareness to public speaking, writing, um, blogging, YouTubing, any kind of public service announcements. This could also be legalities and things going on in the world, cases, um, federal cases. So anything governmental, for sure, we can see anytime we're talking about Sagittarius. Culturally, anything outside of the country and whatever connections the United States has to outer country partnerships and relationships and connections and things of that nature, export, import. Um, um, Definitely celebrations here or some kind of graduation. This can be, uh, again, spirituality, your faith, maybe you're religious. Not everybody's spiritual, but and your worldview is changing, is growing, and it is expanding. Um, and then Mercury in Leo is communication around Leo themes. So bold communication for sure. Um, it's a trine. A trine is a positive aspect. But Leo is creativity, having a baby, your casual sex life, children, sports, um, any kind of investments or your bucket lists, crossing some things off. So you might be again traveling or doing like little small things here and there, of things that you've always wanted to do and or try. And then it's love, fun, play, your inner child, um, your dating life in some way, shape, or form is being highlighted in a way that allows you to communicate around whatever's going up around these particular themes. This could be your child's education, um, your education. I know everybody's getting ready to go back to school. That's probably the biggest topic at this time. Um, but yeah, I think we're realizing what we're learning from overcoming difficulties, you know. Um, and then the moon will square Saturn and Pisces retrograde. Um, this might put a little, some kind of blockage or delay in these conversations that we want to have. Um, Questioning if it's the right time, or there could just be so much going on that you feel like it's not the right time. Um, and then Tuesday, the moon enters Capricorn late in the mid morning, and so we're kind of focused on Saturn things, work, responsibility, um, and our public reputation. Hmm. This could be about a boss on the world stage or CEOs, uh, big companies in some way. or some kind of responsibility around those themes can be coming up, and it could be really heavy emotionally, or there's a lot of heavy lifting that needs to be done and taken care of. Is this being Virgo season with Capricorn? I can see just a lot of changes going on at work, especially with this season, depending on the kind of work. Like, for example, I work with all high schools. And so, as you can imagine, schedules are changing now because kids are going back to school, getting a new set of students, and then also trying to figure out how to manage the students that just recently graduated and how we continue services with them and help them on their journey. So you can, kind of think of other things that might be going on for other people in other jobs. It could be delays because people are going back to school, so the workflow day changes in some way. Um, yeah, it could be some changes in leadership at your job and a lot of emotional shifts around these changes that are happening. Hmm. And then the moon will trine the sun in Virgo. It's going to get real busy, but people are going to be getting things done, getting organized, cleaning your space, making sure your schedule's in order. And then Mercury enters Virgo, which is going to add to that. And then Mercury is going to square Uranus, which is going to add more chaos and unexpected, shocking, switches and changes and turns and events, news and information. It could be shocking and surprising news and information that's coming out around these particular things. I think you will feel grounded in this, but mentally, your mind can be like super rattled, overloaded, or you might get some anxiety. So, doing some breath work, making sure you take time to go out and do a walk. Um, yeah, I think there's going to be some tension with whatever this is with the square. I still don't see this as negative, though. I mean, obviously, there's room for it. I still think these changes are like blessings in disguise because Uranus is super innovative. And Uranus is happy in Gemini. And even though it's a square, it's just more like, again, going back to the Saturn and Pisces eclipse season energy is like, something that you're doing the old way is not, it's just not getting the job done no more. It's not fulfilling anymore. It's not getting you to where you need to be to evolve in some way, shape, or form. And Uranus and Gemini can come in and be like, let's think outside the box. Let's be innovative and solve these smaller issues in a way that works, that's productive. Mercury and Virgo energy in general. And so this might even mean for Virgo energy with the South Node eclipse there is like letting go of perfection and overthinking to the point where you don't do it. Like you've probably already gotten some really super good ideas that you're holding on to, but you're overthinking it. It's not perfect. You don't want to say it yet. Um, and something can happen in a way to be like, no, fuck that. We need this good, solid, grounded information now. Share it with the world, let everybody know, and let it work itself out. That is the process of anything that you do. Starting a business, an idea, you just do it, right? And then you fix things as you go. You come back, check in. So have like checkpoints to say, all right, fuck it, I'm just going to go ahead and go with faith and hope that everything works out and start incrementally day by day, just putting stuff out there, trying things as they come to your mind or writing them down anyways. At least again, everybody's going to be in different places with this. And so as you go on, give yourself like a 1 month, 2 month, or 3 month check-in point to say, okay, I've gathered enough information on this new thing that I've started. What's working, what's not working. Let go of what's not working, continue doing what is working, and continue revamping it and modifying it as you go on. Mercury, for me, any time Mercury is involved with anything, because Mercury is like, I'm gonna take this stupid phone apart and try to put it back together again. It likes experiments. They're like trial periods, like, let's try this and see what happens. Story of my life. And Virgo, it's more work related, so it's more about programming and processing and how something works functionally. um but with Gemini, it's more like, again, a trial period, a testing, a promotion, oleo skin free, I have this lemonade stand, you want my lemonade, type of thing. It's Gemini is like the self-starter, the entrepreneur, you know, they sell themselves, they're self-made, by trial and error. I was just trying it just to see what happened, and look, it turned out to be great, type of thing, right? And so there could be a lot of that going on, but by way of chaos. Uranus is very unexpected. Because you lost something, you didn't have any choice but to do this other thing that you've probably been sitting on, or there's an evolution or an upgrade or a leveling up in something that you've already put out there that you're changing up and switching in some kind of way to make it better because something isn't working anymore, uh, type thing. So yeah, nervous systems can be a little rattled here, a little fried. So, making sure you're getting outside doing earthly things like walking barefoot, hugging trees, laying in the grass, type thing. Like I said, doing breath work, meditating, yoga, um, things of that nature can really, really help with this period of time. And then Wednesday, Mercury will square Uranus. Good golly, Miss Molly. Which is really, again, the same energy. But this could also start to mess with computer, like glitches in your phone and your laptop and your data, emails. Make sure you're checking your emails. It could feel like a retrograde times 10 with Uranus here. Um, Even on a grander scale, some kind of electrical issues and having to rewire something, or again, the process in which electricity works somehow, some way. Be careful for like your electrical plugs and things of that nature. Um, yeah. Make sure you check your emails before you send them out. You're sending it to the right person, phone calls dropping, things of that nature. And again, obviously, major news around job numbers or even the coming back of them. I can't remember I think it was a Virgo new moon video that wasn't considered an eclipse, although I think it was, but it wasn't close enough to be considered an eclipse. But um, I mentioned in that video that I have remembered seeing Donald Trump say something about getting rid of all the immigrants, and then realizing that nobody was working. Nobody wanted those jobs that they took. And so they might be calling them back, calling people back to work, saying, hey, I know you were laid off. You want to come back? This would be fucking hilarious. Maybe they tried to implement some AI, robot, working thing, and for whatever reason there's some kind of glitch, it's not working, and then they got to call people back to work. Wouldn't that be some fucking shit? Could you imagine they trying to get rid of you, with this AI crap, and then something doesn't work, and they're like, "Hey, yeah, can you just come back?" The nerve of these people. Um, um, I think at the same token, this could be a lot of people getting laid off, especially in the health fields with Moon trying South Node and all the health fields. This could be like malpractice lawsuits and legal issues in the health field and pharmaceuticals and hospitals, with doctors, um, a lot of people getting laid off or something like that. Um, or again, some kind of health crisis, like a food recall or something. This could even be like vitamins and minerals and or the need for them, you know. Um, hmm, yeah. And then the moon will square Mars and Libra and oppose Jupiter and Cancer. Um, oof. Mars wants to fight. Libra wants to keep the peace. Moon in Sagittarius is just super overwhelming. It's too much. It's just big emotions. Jupiter and Cancer is big emotions. It's just a goddamn emotional mess of especially at home. So this can be like restructuring your home around your new schedule. Yeah, with family. So if you are taking care of a sick parent, there can be some tension and issues around that. So you might have to hire somebody to come in for extra help. Um, or somebody, you might have to ask somebody to fill in for you for the days that you can't be in. Mm. And it could be like a traffic jam. You need something, the person you're asking can't do it, and it's like there might not be an option, so something's just not going to get done, type of thing. Or somebody's going to have a problem with it if it's at home. Like, this is your responsibility. Like, why can't you do it? I just told you, my schedule's changing. I gotta blah 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 blah. Ooh, I'm seeing this with like people who got one car. It's like, now our hours are the same. What the hell are we gonna do? Who's gonna take the car? Who's not? Type of stuff. Who's gonna take the kids to school? Now you might need to sign up for the kid for the bus type stuff, or they just ain't gonna go to school, right? So there's like questions around who's responsible for what. If the managers or supervisor are unable to show up, it's like who's going to take the lead? And whoever takes the lead, somebody might have a problem with that. Like, oh, I don't really like her. Good golly, Miss Molly. Um, and then you can have people calling out because of health issues, or again, there's a death in the family, or they're moving. Mm. I mean, even though there's all this confusion, this is still an opportunity to restructure things, and that's just the bottom line. So we got to keep that in mind. is an opportunity to do something differently, better. Virgo wants better, right? Efficient and very practical. It's going to result in an outcome, a positive outcome, something that brings rewards or gives back in some way, shape, or form. And then Thursday, the moon is in Aquarius and that'll conjunct Pluto in Aquarius retrograde. This is a lot of emotional intensity, an emotional meltdown, a lot of shocks and surprises about changes going on in the world, emotional pressure to purge and change things. And then the moon will trine Uranus in Gemini. So there's a lot of opportunities for breakthroughs in communication and socializing, networking, partying, planning partying events. Or hanging out with friends. I actually kind of seen this as like Aquarius can be like major things going on that affect a community. Like, let's say a shooting at a school or some kind of event at a traumatic triggering event at a school. Um, or somebody getting run down in a community. I think we've seen instances of this. I haven't really been paying attention to the news lately, but I think in DC they had like all the police coming out to uh, low income neighborhoods and doing like I don't know what the fuck they were doing, checking to see if there was people there that didn't belong, I guess. And you can have your own thoughts and ideas about what it is. I'm just bringing up an example of what Moon and Aquarius energy can look like. Is like, well, then the community comes together and says, y'all ain't gonna be coming in our community starting shit, ain't nothing going on here. Take your ass on somewhere, right? Or you'll have people of like Black Panther. I think of like Black Panther Party or some revolutionary coming through, sticking up for the community, educating the community, teaching people how to protect themselves, how to um, come together as a community, having community meetings, hosting community events. This is like a group of people, a clan, a family, a team coming together to resolve a problem, you know, in some way, shape, or form. Like, say, for example, there was a big, huge fire, right? It took out a three-family home. And again, I'm not wishing these types of things on anybody. I'm just using these as an example. There's something major happens in the world, like there's a weather event, a fire, something that disrupts a community, and then you'll have a group of people come in and say, well, I'll donate some clothes, I'll rent some space out to these people, or just networking around these types of events of awareness to give back in some way, shape, or form, or to solve a community or bigger problem or issue. Something like that could be going on. So again, I don't really know what was the outcome of any events or anything that's going on. You'll probably know better than me. Leave it in the comments. Let me know. Where people are coming together to support one another to help solve whatever crisis or something or other that happened in a community. This could be like with Moon sextile Neptune and Aries is like setting up some karate classes to teach women, young children how to defend themselves. Stuff like that. Moon Moon opposed Venus and Leo. That changes everything. This can highlight like clashes in values and relationships or your dating life, or even your sex life, even with your children. Oh, you know what this can be like? Having a conversation with somebody about, like, say you're watching a video on some child rearing videos of how somebody raises their children or issues that come up because there's no father in the home, or, things like that. And talking about how that becomes a bigger issue when they get older. Now the mother's like, I'm calling the cops, or I don't feel safe in my house because they've never had any, male figure in their life type thing. And then you and your partner are watching this, but y'all are on different pages or disagree with, what that particular video means or where that issue actually really does stem from, type of thing. I hope I'm making sense, right? Um, and that could bring, issues up in the relationship. Like, why the fuck y'all even together? Or why y'all get married? Or why y'all have kids together if y'all don't even agree? Or it can even turn into an argument because it's like, well, whoa, whoa, what you saying? Because my daughter or my son, or you know what I'm saying? And it doesn't really even have to be that deep. These kinds of conversations happen in relationships, and maybe it's just a great debate, right? And it's just a good conversation to have. And maybe you can come together and be like, well, shit, we sitting up here talking about this particular issue. Meanwhile, we got these issues in our relationships. How can we solve them together as a unit, as a team, as a partnership, and do better within our family? Especially with Mars square Jupiter in Cancer, this is highlighting growing pains, things that need to change in your home and family life, your lineage, your bloodline, where you come from, understanding that more. These are like generational curse breakers, cutting ties, cutting soul ties, letting go of people, places, and things that are not aligned with who you are, who you're becoming, and finding and bringing in more people that do. Again, it doesn't have to be a breakup for everybody. This can definitely be somebody breaking up, especially casual dating relationships. People playing house. They've been together 10 years, not married, probably got 3 kids. Things of like that particular ideology could be asked to be changed in some way, shape, or form, to something more grounded and stable. You don't belong with that person, perhaps it's not working out. And in some cases, it's working just fine. And people are like, what did we need to get married for? We've been doing this way already, type thing. It could be a question of, you know, well, you're a lot older. And it's like, well, what happens when something happens to you? Because I'm not legally married to you, I can't make decisions for you or help you in any kind of way because technically I'm not a family member on paper, type stuff. These types of things can be coming up in this particular in these particular aspects. And we're being asked to reevaluate them and address them in a way that adds solutions, whether that means you breaking up with this person or you're going to come together as a unit and solve these problems. And then Friday, the moon in Aquarius is in conjunct Jupiter in Cancer and the sun in Virgo. Yeah, I mean, in conjunctions are like having a pebble in your shoe, walking around with a pebble in your shoe. That shit is so fucking annoying. Um, but Aquarius is always going to be about solving some bigger problem in the community at a state level type thing, or in within the community, what changes can we make? Um, hmm. I mean, I think we're going to have a lot of people who got a lot of ideas that are going to be like, let's change this about ourselves, and finding a team or hiring some people to come together to change an issue. I really see this at a state level or city level. I think that's really the term I'm looking for. It's like city workers coming together and doing something, or having like a community meeting on how to handle something. Um, I hope I'm saying that right. I'm so disconnected with these laws and how these folks call themselves, but um, I mean, it could be legislators. I just have a really hard time seeing that. I'm not that optimistic about them, so I'm gonna say city level, people in government, who have the ability to make community and public change, coming together to say, let's have a meeting about the specific issue that keeps coming up, and how can we do that? Like when people have to come together because there's like 600,000 terrible accidents at this rotary. As a community, we can come together, put the money in the pot to um, get that rotary changed, type thing. Or there's always gun shootings, or, you know, in this particular area, what can we do about that? And again, if it's not at the state or city level, whatever, it's revolutionary people coming in to say, I want to solve this problem. Um, and teaching with the skills and knowledge that you already have. Like, again, if you have a karate place, helping people learn how to fight, type thing. I don't want to repeat it, but you guys get it. This could also be donating, volunteering, having a garage sale, starting a family business, something that gives back, doing ride sharing stuff. Um, um, Community meetings, community cleanup, community awareness, safety tips, and other free resources. And then Saturday, later in the day, the moon enters Pisces. Now we're getting ready for this eclipse in Pisces on the 7th, and we're more private, more isolated, not really wanting to be bothered, relaxing. It's time to heal, you know. Pay attention to your dreams, because they definitely could be trying to give you show you some things. And then the moon will square Uranus. So again, chaos and plans and communication. Um, and then Sunday is the eclipse, and I put the video up already. So if you haven't watched it already, please feel free. Leave a comment, let me know your thoughts. And yeah, man, as usual, family, I love and appreciate you. I hope you found this information helpful. Peace.